This is a really difficult one, Richard. There's already people who look after other sports suggesting that Joe Watson should be stood down. We'll be talking to those people down the track. But your reading on it, and can you clarify your, I think, comments of about 6 months ago where you did confirm to us on the radio station, ASADA and WADA have been left in no doubt as to the legality of this drug?
Well, that's absolutely true. I mean, in April of this year alone, WADA put out a press statement saying that definitively, in their view, AOD 9604 is a banned substance. And we must remember that the WADA prohibited list is owned and managed by WADA. So the governing body has determined it's banned, and it has been banned since the 1st of January 2011.
1st of January 2011, that would be before anybody took any substance. So is it possible that ASADA have given misinformation to either Bruce Reid, Dr. Bruce Reid, or Stephen Dank?
Well, look, it's impossible to speculate, and it's not impossible that, an organisation can make an error. But for ASADA to do something like that, that would be a massive error. It would be not consistent with how they manage these situations or the protocols that they follow. Because normally they're telling sports and athletes to not take anything which is unknown. And that would be the advice I would expect that ASADA would be giving.
Richard, if an Olympic athlete said on the eve of their event at an Olympic Games, I took AOD 9604 a year ago, would they be allowed to compete the next day?
Look, every sport is different, and I think what we need to reflect on here is that there is likely more than one player who's been involved in using AOD 9604. WADA do say that AOD 9604 is banned, but I think it's really important to just let ASADA get on with completing its investigation to determine if there is any fault, who has that fault, and what, if any, consequence should be and applied fairly to all who are involved.
So you don't feel action should be taken against Jobe immediately, as has been suggested many times over the air in the last 12 hours?
No, look, I think it's premature to be suggesting that, and I think the only caveat would be if a player was to come forward and not just admit to taking AOD 9604, but admit that they believe that they've committed a doping offence, then that's a completely different proposition. But this investigation is still ongoing. This is a critical admission last night. It may expedite things, but there is still more investigation to complete.
But there's something far more complex, and I can't put my finger on this particular issue, Richard, and that is Essendon maintain that they haven't taken an illegal substance. So somebody at Essendon believes that at the time, AOD 9604, which is going to now live in our memory for a long, long time, and hopefully it'll be gone very shortly, was legal at the time. How can that be so, given that WADA has been so strong, and you're telling us that ASADA in January 2011 clarified this position?
Well, if anyone who has been using AOD 9604, whether it's a player or any sort of club administrator who provided it, has any evidence that an organisation of authority like ASADA or WADA confirmed with them that it was okay under the ban list to use, then they really need to produce that get out of jail free card. Speculating about it is impossible. If it exists, then it needs to be provided to the authorities.
One of the arguments appears to be whether or not, or its status as a performance enhancer, and that then goes to the crux of whether or not it should be or is illegal. Does that carry any weight?
Well, no, it doesn't, because AOD 9604 is banned under a category of the WADA code that captures any substance is not approved for therapeutic use. This is not approved for human use. So the tests haven't been done to determine how it could or enhance performance or have an impact on health. And let's face it, it was taken to specifically help these players in their performance for no other reason.